Welcome back to the Blue Chip Breakdown, Vols fans. Today we're going to talk about the 5 guys that have not arrived on campus yet, and we've got 5 gems. So just to start it off, I wanted to start off with Trevor Duncan. Trevor is what? He's 6'5", 2, not like 90, something like that.
Yeah.
And he's playing on the defensive line, and I think that he's probably going to end up being switched over to the offensive line. He looks really good blocking. There's not a whole lot of film on him blocking, but he looks really good there. I don't really see him playing on defense. He's not that type of an athlete.
Yeah.
Not for SEC ball.
Not twitchy enough.
Yeah, he doesn't have that twitch. But now once you move him to the offensive side of the ball, he looks really good there. So I think he could play guard or tackle, and obviously we feel like we've got an issue with tackle. So I think he would fit in well there.
Yeah, I think it's like you said. On defense, he seems pretty. He looks like an offensive lineman playing D-line. He's bigger and stronger than the kids he's playing against. Probably plays in a league that's not so great. But you see him playing bully ball with those guys, which you want to see. He's physical at the point of contact. He looks like a guy that'd be a pretty natural puller. So I feel like he can pull pretty well. Just the way he's strikes guys with his hands. Has good shock with his hands. Very, very strong. You can tell from his film. So I think on the O-line, there's no telling how good he could be, when he makes that transition to offense. Now whether he plays guard or tackle, I'm not sure. I think he could maybe do either one, but, you like his range, you like his measurables. But I definitely think he's more of an offensive lineman than a D-line guy.
Yeah, definitely. And then too, you look at him, he was rated as a 3-star prospect, but if he was to be playing on the offensive line, so if coaches looked at him more on the offensive side of the ball, I think he would be much closer to like a 4-star. Just looking at his upside. I don't know how much he's actually trained on the offensive line. Obviously he did play there some. He was playing tackle. And like you said, he looks like he can pull. He's got good feet for an offensive lineman. And, also to your point, he really strikes. He's a really, really strong guy. He's probably going to come on campus at about 290-ish. Hopefully that's about what I would expect. But it just really all depends on what the coaches had to, if the coach is saying, hey, look, we need for you to gain some weight. Send him the, workout program, and maybe he can, maybe he was working on that. Yeah. I wish all these guys, we're going to talk about 4 more guys, but I wish all of them would have been able to get on campus early.
Me too. Yeah.
Just to get acclimated into the system. But that would be really big, though. If he can come in and if he can give us at least some depth at tackle or maybe even at guard, which would be a lot easier for a freshman coming in, that would be really big because one of the guys on this list, I think that we could potentially bump out to one of those tackle spots, and I don't think that they would do it straight off the bat, but I do think that he's good enough to, do it. Next guy is Nate Spillman, 6'2", 190 pounds, comes from a powerhouse program, probably the best program in Tennessee.
Where you play at?
Right now, Lipscomb.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So Lipscomb, obviously, his brother Edwin, who was an absolute stud.
Yeah, he's a beast.
So hopefully we can pull him in too. And then, we've also got Caleb is coming from that same school too.
Oh, okay. Caleb Beasley. Okay.
Yeah. As far as, Nate, I think he's, he kind of puts me in the mind of like a Keaton. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of like, he's one of those very sure-handed. He's going to run crisp routes for you. He's not a crazy great athlete.
Right.
But I do think he can add some solid depth to this team, and he can kind of start to get groomed for once Keaton leaves.
Yeah, that's exactly the same comparison I had. Ramel Keaton, not the flashiest guy, not the fastest. You go watch him in practice, he's not going to wow you. But put him in the game, he's a guy that's going to be reliable, pretty sure-handed guy. Looks like he has good hands on his film, pretty good routes. He shows some decent bursts. I just feel like the top end speed's not there. The top end athleticism. If you were to test him, I don't think he'd test well.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a guy that just has that high athletic, ceiling. Yeah. But he does seem like he's a pretty reliable guy and a guy that I think if he's given an opportunity, he might perform. But I'd put him as more of a developmental guy. I wouldn't expect him to do anything necessarily year 1, maybe even year 2, but if he sticks it out year 3, year 4, I think he could potentially be a guy that, we're glad to have on the roster.
Absolutely. And then too, obviously coming from that championship pedigree, that's something that's really big. People kind of, I think, undervalue that. Whenever you come from a program that you're used to winning all the time, bringing that type of a mindset to a team, that's just coming off of their first real winning season, like real playoff push, real, close to a championship type of a season, I think that's big. So, and, again, obviously getting his brother, Edwin, is going to be big too. So, that's something for us to look forward to. I think that they'll be on campus next month in June.
Okay, nice.
Not 100% sure.
I think that definitely factored into him to his recruitment. I think his brother, I think that kind of factored in.
Oh, yeah. I think that was probably big. And then, also too, coaches are definitely going to, if there's a school that's a powerhouse that, coaches know, hey, these guys are going to be, great students, they're going to be great off the field, and also they're going to be very well coached too. I mean, coaches are going to keep on hitting that same well over and over and over again. It's just one of those, tried and true, proven methods. So the next player is the running back Keith.
Like him a lot.
Yeah. And I think that I think he's probably going to play.
I think so.
As a freshman. So he's 6 foot, 235 pounds is what he's listed as. He actually looks like he might be a little bit bigger than that.
He might be.
Yeah.
He can move too.
Yeah. And he's got those big, like Travis Henry, he's got those cheese legs.
Yeah.
You see people bouncing off of his legs.
Yep.
He also has really good speed for his size. Something else too that I wanted to point out was just looking at his senior stats. In the games that he got under 15 carries, he didn't have as many yards. So he could be one of those guys that, you had to give him some more carries to kind of get him going. But Coach Mack already pretty much said that he's going to be our short yardage guy. I'm pretty sure he's going to be playing.
And I think he comes in, I think he'll be ready to go. He just strikes me as a guy that seems like he's ready to go. I mean, he runs as big as he is. You see some of these guys that are big and don't really run hard. I mean, he runs hard. He'll lower his shoulder, run through contact. Seems like he has pretty good hands out of the backfield too. I mean, he's just a good all-around back. I think he'll factor in well. I think you compared him to Jamal Lewis on your film.
Yeah, with that head back.
He's that head tipped back. I mean, he has pretty good top end speed. I think he's a guy. I'm not sure what he runs in the 40, but I think he's a guy. You turn the film, you're going to be kind of hard pressed to find anybody hawking him down. I think he has enough speed to get into the end zone. So excited about him. And like you said, I think he does factor in as a true freshman.
Absolutely. And then too, he has excellent balance. Now he's not. I mean, Lewis was like a 4.3 guy.
Yeah.
He was 230, 4.3 bench and 5. I mean, he was a freak. So I'm not saying that that's who he's going to be, but just seeing that head tilted back, obviously that's going to bring some great memories back for any Vol fan. But yeah, I definitely think that he's going to get a lot of playing time. Something that we were talking about last season was our running backs being a little bit smaller, and with the way that we played, especially against, Georgia, Bama, teams like that can really match up with you well on the outside and on the inside. What Georgia had like 5 in the box, but now if you have a running back that's 6 feet tall, 235 pounds, you can't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're gonna have to dedicate somebody else to the box, which opens things up. So I don't know if he's going to be a 15 carry a game guy. I doubt that, but I do think that if it's like a short yardage situation, or in certain when we're playing against certain teams. I definitely think he's going to get a lot of burns. So.
Yeah, I definitely think Hype will have a game plan for him, to utilize him. I think he's, just like you said, he saw last year, we just needed guys that could break more tackles in one-on-one situations. And I think he fits that well. So, we lost Princeton Fant, who was kind of our short yardage guy last season. So having another, guy come in at 235 plus, definitely see him in that goal line package where we're under center. Maybe he lines up as fullback. I mean, there's no telling how we'll use him, but I definitely think he'll get, a good amount of burn this season.
Yeah, he's going to most definitely play. So next guy on this list is Shandavian Bradley. So he's listed on 24/7 Sports at 6'5", 209 pounds. But if you've seen any of his recent basketball clips, or if you saw him in the draft, and we'll actually show y'all that picture, but he looks like he's about 230 pounds now, solid. He looks like he's probably somewhere around in there. So that was my biggest thing for him, is that he's going to have to gain so much weight. Yeah. But he's a longer, rangier guy. He's not the twitchiest of guys, like in a short burst, but his top end speed is astronomical. Yeah. Like he's got linebacker, almost even safety top end speed. Once he gets going, he's really, really fast. I think that he's going to help out. I think he's going to help this team out this year. I see him rotating in some too.
Yeah, I would love to see him contribute, man. I think you hit the nail on the head. He's your prototypical long range guy. You think long range guy, he's exactly what you're picturing. Big long range guy, and that's exactly who he is. But him being up 230, I think that's the biggest thing. He's one of the main guys that you wish was here early enrollee, but him putting on the weight, it shows that he's invested, shows that the coaches, had a plan for him and said, hey, we want to see you come on campus in the summer. We want to see you about 230, 240. And he's stuck to it. He's eating, he's hitting the weights. Yeah. And something you notice about him is he has pretty big legs. Like his legs are strong. Like he has good sized legs. So that kind of shows you that, the frame is there. The potential is there to put on even more weight. And I think if he comes in at, 230, 240, yeah, I agree. I think he does contribute this year. Just because, like you said, he's a great athlete. I think, he uses his arms well. He can keep, offensive linemen from his body, can, control him with his arms, with his hands. So I'm excited about him. I think it's another pass rusher that, we'd love to see step up, because that's going back and watch the spring game again. I think that's kind of an element that we're kind of missing, is that elite edge rusher. Yeah. We lost Byron Young last year, so we got Roman Harrison, got a few other guys. Who's going to step up? It'd be nice to have another option in Shandavian Bradley as a guy that could potentially, give us some additional pass rush.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then too, something that I didn't bring up is that, he does a really good job of getting off blocks, or something that, you was just speaking to. He definitely does use his length well. And, I think that his game right now translates well to the next level. So, obviously I think every team really likes to rotate linemen as much as possible. You want to try to keep them fresh, but I don't think there's any other coach in the country that likes to do it as much as Coach G. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he's going to definitely get his opportunities. I'm not 100% sure how he's been taking care of his body. If he's been staying in shape. That's going to be one of the biggest things for all these guys, is what kind of shape are they going to come on campus with, and, how well can they pick up the different, playbooks and things like that. So, but he seems like he's a smart kid, and I think he's going to do really, really well. The next one on the list is Tyree Weathersby. And he's got, to me, he's like the total package as far as a defensive lineman, pass rusher, 6'4", 251 pounds is what he's listed at. He'll probably come in, I hope that he comes in close to that weight. Maybe he can trim down a little bit of fat and just be in better shape. But he's a big guy that literally he's already prototype size for an end. And he's very, very twitchy. He's twitchy. He's got that dog. He's got a lot of good pass rush moves. He can bull rush you. He's able to use his feet to beat you. He does a great job of getting skinny and getting through gaps. I think that he's going to play for sure. I think that he probably will play more than any of the freshmen linemen that are coming in. That's just what I'm seeing now. He is kind of, obviously he didn't come in early, so he's going to be behind some of these guys. But I think that he's going to definitely be, whenever it's all said and done, I think that he could be our best pass rusher in this class.
Yeah, he's a guy I'm super excited about. I was watching his film. He's, like you said, super twitchy, explosive. He just looks like an elite level player, on the film. Uses his burst well off the line. He gets off the ball quick, has great get off. You see him actually, like you said, get skinny, can set up his pass moves, strong, has good top end speed. He's a guy, if his high school game translates to the next level, if it's the same as it is on, high school, when he gets to college, he's a guy I think comes in year one and really factors in. I think he has the size already. He has the athleticism already. Not sure what high school he played for, how good of a program that is. Yeah. So you wonder, about the kind of the mental side of the game, how knowledgeable is he of football and, his position playing DN, how well can he, or how quickly can he pick up the scheme and stuff like that. But if he can pick that part of it up, and he can earn Rodney Gardner's trust. I think he might be out there, maybe not week one, but I think he will factor in by the end of the season. Yeah,
definitely as the season wears on. He's definitely going to be one of our guys. Last but certainly not least, this is actually who I think, as far as the five that we have coming on campus, and I think that they're all really, really, really good. But this guy, I think, will probably contribute the most, and I think he can help us out this season. Aiden Bussell. I mean, you want to talk about a prototype offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I mean, he is big. He's quick. He's a technician. He has beautiful form, and he's a dog. He's nasty.
Yeah.
And whenever you listen to him speak, that's just like that X factor. You listen to these guys talk, some guys just have it. He just just looking at some of his pictures, you see the piercing eyes, and I mean, he just has it. He is the prototype offensive lineman. And I definitely think just from his school film, right? Just from seeing that and just from hearing him speak, I think that he should, and some of y'all might comment, but I think that he should be able to start on this offensive line somewhere. Now, it might not be on the first game, but as, again, as the season wears on, I think that he is good enough to start somewhere, whether it be a guard or a tackle or even at center. He can play anywhere on the offensive line. Really, really smart kid. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's going to do whenever he
5-for-5 guy. Could play all 5 positions on the O-line. Was he about 6'5", about 280, something like that?
So he's 6'5", I think 287 or 288 is what they have him at on 24/7 Sports. But obviously, he's probably going to come in closer to about 300 pounds.
Yeah, he'll come in close to about 300 pounds. I mean, that's prototypical size for a true freshman offensive lineman coming in. I mean, he can do it all. Like you said, super athletic guy. But what I love most about his game is, like you said, the nastiness. You see him, blowing guys up, getting in their face about it, letting them know. I mean, that's the type of stuff you need to see, especially from your O-lineman, because those guys set the tone for the whole game. Yeah. The game's won or lost in the trenches. So, having those type of guys on your team, I mean, it's invaluable. You can't put a value on it. You got to have those type of guys. As far as him coming in playing year one, I mean, I can see a path there, especially if, the tackles aren't playing the way we want them to. John Campbell at left tackle, Mincy at right tackle. Mincy has to learn how to play on the right side of the ball. John Campbell's a guy we haven't really seen a ton of in the SEC. So he could potentially fill in for one of those guys, or even at that left guard spot. I think Ollie Lane's kind of listed as the one there. Yeah. He's a guy that, he's been here for a while. I think this is his 6th year, I want to say. So you hope that he's ready to go. But, if he's not, it's nice to have other options coming in. I think Aiden Bussell, if he can learn the playbook, learn how to play with tempo and all that, potentially, I think he could factor in by the end of the season, maybe at left guard as well. Yeah. So, and, that's the thing, obviously some of it, I don't necessarily want to call it politics, but some of it kind of is politics, right? Whenever I'm looking at Aiden and, just from seeing what we saw in spring and what we already know about some of these veteran guys, I mean, he already looks to me like he is better than, I would at least say he's better than, like Andres, I think he's better than him. Nichols, he might be a little bit more comparable to where Nichols is right now. But again, like I said, Nichols has been here for such a long time. So, he may not be able to get in there. But I think if the coaches are going to be playing the best players, Aiden Bussell already, in my eyes, looks like he's one of them. Now, we haven't seen him on campus yet, but just watching his film, sometimes you just know, you can just tell. He is the stone cold truth. Yeah, he's got that it factor. Yeah, I was gonna say, he's definitely got that it factor. Like he just looks like a guy that's ready to play. I mean, it's tough to really explain it unless you know what you're looking for. But he just the way he fires off the ball, the way he's dominating defenders, just the way he engages blocks, works up to the second level. Yeah, everything he does, it looks prototypical. Yeah, so it does. He's well coached too, I'd say. Yeah, he definitely looks like he somebody's been coaching him really, really well. And I would expect that since he wasn't on campus, he's probably been working with some type of specialist. So I would expect for him to come in even better than what we saw on film. Yeah. And, that's kind of scary. But I do think that if he can step in somewhere, if he can help us fill whatever hole that we may end up having on that offensive line, I think that the sky really could be the limit for this team. Because everything else is pretty much there, right? I mean, we feel comfortable with everything else. What's the offensive line going to do? Are they going to be able to gel? At least me, I'll speak for myself. I'm concerned about our tackles. We're going to have to figure something out. But, again, you have guys like Keith and all these other backs. And, we've got some good guys playing on the ends, too, to help us out in pass protection. But, man, if you could get a really, really solid guy on that offensive line that can hold up, man, I mean, we can. It's going to be tough for anybody to be able to stop us. Yeah, it's going to be tough. And, it'll be interesting to see as we kind of add some more guys. This hype will put in a package where we add an additional offensive lineman. Maybe you bring in a guy like Aiden Bussell or maybe Trevor Duncan down the line. Just talk. Maybe this is a year or two down the line, but bring them in as that extra tight end, and now you have more beef on the O-line, and you can really get in the trenches with guys like Georgia, Bama, and can kind of have your way with those type of guys. So super excited about these guys coming in, and can't wait to see him get here and play.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the depth is definitely building, and I'm excited for the start of this season. Definitely want to see, or I guess hear what all's going on in summer ball. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a great season for us ball fans. Thank y'all as always for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, give us a follow on IG, and we'll see y'all on the next video. Thanks. Peace.